Hi, everyone. It's Melanie Warner here with Defining Moments. I am so happy to be here with y'all today. As you know, we love sharing information from our amazing people library of some experts that we've worked with. Today is no exception. We have an amazing guest. I want to welcome to the show Karen Sammer. Thank you so much for being here, Karen.
Thanks, Melanie.
Absolutely. So you have a unique thing to share with our audience today, and this is something that everyone out there can relate to. We talk about what we eat and how food is medicine. And this is someone who knows it better than anyone. She's a premier expert, certified health and wellness coach, and also just recently wrote a book that hit #1 on the bestseller list. So we're going to be talking about that today as well. But first, I would love for you to share, Karen, if you would, with our audience, a defining moment in your life.
Oh, absolutely. It's really what led me to do what I do. In 2009, I was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of breast cancer and was hugely overweight, had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. My blood sugar was a little unsteady. In fact, I was pre-diabetic at the time. And so I knew all of those other things except for the cancer prior to that. And I did nothing about it because I was busy with a very high stress job, raising my kids, running my house, all of the things that everybody else does. And so I paid no attention to my health until the cancer got my attention. So I went through the conventional treatment for the cancer, chose not to ever go through that again, and decided to do something about my health and take my health into my own hands. Essentially, I did go through conventional treatment, chemo, radiation, and surgery, and then I ended up doing other things so that I could mitigate my risk of recurrence because it was a highly recurable cancer. So I lost 135 pounds, took all processed sugar out of my diet, completely changed my life. And not only did I mitigate my risk of recurrence or lower my risk of recurrence, but I also reversed my prediabetes. And I brought down my blood pressure. I brought down my cholesterol, all the things I did, everything that I did put me in a much better place. So when I did all of that, I was doing research. And what led me to take the sugar out of my diet is that I read that sugar causes cancer. It actually feeds cancer. So consuming excess sugar will absolutely feed the cancer cells in your body.
Wow, that's incredible, Karen. So, first of all, thank you for sharing. And I'm so grateful that you're alive and you're healthy and you're here with us today. That could be super scary.
Mhm.
Um, and when we realize like so much of our diet, creates inflammation that leads to cancer, right? Like there's like 17 out of the 18 things that can kill you that start from inflammation. We all know sugar's definitely one of them.
Yep.
I recently did something a year ago where I cut out sugar. I did this experiment for about 6 weeks because as a business owner, I'll tell you, I had a friend that said, I cut sugar out and my business blew up faster than anything else I had done. That got my attention. So I'm like, okay, I'll try that if that helps my business. Who'd have thought? Oh my gosh. It worked so well, Karen. Like every big, hairy goal I had for last year happened in January. In 1 month, during that 6 week period, everything that we had on our books to do for the whole year, we did in 1 month. And it,
That's
it
amazing.
really works. So if you own a business, run a business, an executive, manager, and you learn this tool about cutting out sugar, you will not be controlled by the sugar monster anymore, right? That
That's
makes
huge. Yeah.
really bad decisions in our life and creates depression and other things, as we've already learned from the science side of it.
Yeah.
So, so, so Karen, you through this process, you created this system to help people learn how to crush cravings before diabetes crushes you, which is the name of your book as well.
That's correct. Yeah.
So tell us about this as you develop this system, right? Tell us a little bit about more how you do that.
Well, so what I everything I did was sort of experimental for me. I sort of developed this along the way, and I realized that the first thing I had to do was eliminate the sugar. And once I did that, everything else fell into place because I was no longer controlled by sugar. I didn't have the inflammation that I used to have, so all my joints felt good. My body was healthy and energized. I was able to sleep well at night. I had clarity of thought. I had all of the things that sugar impacts no longer were impacted. So I was able to develop this system that is really it's very basic and simple. I mean, anybody can do it, but nobody does, or many people don't. because they're so consumed by their addiction to sugar that they can't find their way out. And it's really, how do I get out of that sugar, that cycle of eating terrible food that will give me a high initially and then give me a crash, and then you go up and down the sugar scale
Mhm.
as you will, and it's never ending. It's very cyclical. It's never ending. But you have to, once you stop that cycle, then everything else falls into place, and that's what I found. And so that's how my program developed.
I
And
love it. And that's the thing. Diabetes really is an unnecessary epidemic. It is
absolutely,
100% something we do have control over. I
and
mean,
we're
the
talking about type 2 and type 3 diabetes, not type 1. That's a whole different story.
right, but the one that is created by food, because I know my dad is diabetic. My dad is super skinny. He lives his whole life eating whatever he wants. He's 88 years young. And it's crazy. Like I could eat, if I ate his diet, I would be like 400 pounds. You know what I mean? I don't know how he does it, but
Wow.
somehow he's been okay. And then all of a sudden he got diabetes. And he was able to control it with his diet. And then now, just so like 2 years ago, he had to start taking insulin. And I've noticed it's like he's been functional for a while, but it definitely is kind of like I see people. My grandfather was diabetic, my mom's mom, not my dad's mom. And then so now I have it on both sides of my family. And I saw that they just used insulin as a way to manage their sugar intake. They didn't just give up sugar, they just kept eating it and then use insulin to manage their sugar intake. And that never made sense to me either. But it's like they just got so addicted to the foods that it became a pattern of behavior and an emotional connection to that food.
It is truly a physical and emotional addiction. And the problem is that to me, sugar addiction or food addiction generally is much more insidious than drug addiction, because you don't need illicit drugs to stay alive. You need food to
Oh,
stay alive.
and we just did our TV show Recipe for Wellness, and one of the guests was talking about, I mean, here we have, you know, she's the person that got me off sugar to begin with, and she said, here we are as parents, think about this. We are soothing our kids with something that is as addictive or more addictive as heroin.
Yes.
And we're creating these emotional associations and physical associations using sugar. We're telling our kids, calm down and sit down and eat your ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
and yet and yet that it's going to get them all excited and running around and making it worse. And
Yeah.
then every time as an adult they want to cope with their pain, they go get ice cream,
Yeah.
right? They associate the sugar.
For the reward system we use.
Love, like think about it, right? As parents we teach our kids every holiday is sugar. It's holiday, it's Halloween, it's Easter, it's Christmas, it's Valentine's Day. It's like no wonder we have so many people, younger generations of kids getting really sick.
Yeah.
But here's the question that comes up a lot then, Karen, and you could probably answer this better than anyone. You know, I used to believe when I was younger that it was better to eat natural sugar than a man-made chemical,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what's your take on sugar, real, real cane sugar, real natural substance versus man-made chemicals or sugar substitutes, as opposed to
Well,
health?
which is the lesser of two evils, is what you're asking me? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the lesser of two evils, obviously, is going to be the natural sugar, the sugar cane. But sugar cane, the sugar that we eat now is not the same as the sugar that our grandparents ate. They ate cane sugar. We're eating beet sugar, and we're eating
Mm.
high fructose corn syrup. And
Yep.
these are
Refined,
much
processed.
different. Yes,
Yeah.
these are, but
Ups.
they're much different than the cane sugar that used to be what we used.
And even the fruit, like there's natural sugar in fruit, but some people also have to manage that because, and carbs, like certain carbs will turn into sugar in your body and burn fuel.
Yeah,
And
refined carbs turn into sugar as quickly as sugar. You could eat a bowl of sugar and get the same impact.
and sugar feeds cancerous cells. It feeds tumors, which we already know. I mean, there's so many things that we are eating that we think are healthy that we have no idea are creating more disease in our bodies. I mean, sugar is one of them. Just like to me, the same people that choose to smoke, knowing after thousands of studies, they finally admitted that smoking is actually bad for you. But for many, many years, doctors were endorsing smoking as stress relief, and they would take pictures of doctors smoking while they're doing patient paperwork. And after 7,000 studies, they finally admitted that smoking causes cancer. And that
Yeah.
once they knew that, there's still people that choose to smoke, right? So we
The
have
addiction. It's the addiction.
There
That's
is, and it is, and people don't even realize with cigarettes. I almost got my master's in clinical therapy, and we studied hypnosis and try to help people stop smoking and things like that. People don't realize that there's sugar in tobacco and cigarettes.
mm.
And it's not
It's
only
plants. Yeah, it's a plant, and
it's
plants have.
not only the nicotine, but there's also sugar in these things. So when you try to stop smoking, that's why the doctors tell you to choose sugarless gum because there's the sugar addiction in smoking and cigarettes and tobacco as well, which people don't think about. They think it's nicotine or it's a habit, but they don't realize that there's also sugar in.
It's all it's all of those things though. They're all together, and I think that they actually work synergistically. So
Mhm.
one of each of those things might not be as bad as putting them all together,
Well,
right?
and obviously the people that are selling food products want you to be addicted to the food products so you keep buying more. So they're just kind of like the little sketchy drug dealers. They're just selling us the drug of sugar.
Legal.
All
Yeah,
that.
it's just legal to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I love
absolutely
what
true.
you're doing.
It's designed to be addictive. The food is they have scientists on staff that are very specific about what they find that sweet spot, that that amount of sugar that they can put into the food that doesn't make it so cloyingly sweet that you don't like it,
Right.
and but yet it will addict you to the food. And there are foods that are in the market that have sugar in them that you would have no idea. You would not unless you looked at the label and you understood the label because the labels are difficult to read. If you didn't understand, if you understand the label and you see how many different times sugar shows up in a food label, you would be disgusted by it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us about your book. This is a copy. This is the cover of your book here. You got the ebook out right now.
Yep.
So,
Actually, the paperback is out as well.
oh, cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got your ebook and your print book out. So tell us the name of the book and who it's for.
So the book is called Crush Cravings Before Diabetes Crushes You: How to Overcome Cravings. Or, I'm sorry, how to balance your blood sugar so that you can lose weight and avoid diabetes medication.
I love it. I love it. And you got a beautiful like hand crushing a donut. I love it. And then you got the number one bestseller sticker. Congratulations on being
Thank
a
you.
number one best-selling author.
I was so excited about that. That's great. Yeah. Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh, that's so cool. And some of you out there, maybe you're thinking about writing a book and you don't realize that when you write a book, especially when you become a best-selling author, it elevates your authority and your credibility instantly. You can charge more for your, speaker fees. You can charge more as a coach and a consultant. All of a sudden, journalists want to talk to you. So we were just talking about that before we started the launch here, of all the benefits and opportunities that are going to come to Karen. And so tell us, Karen, so what happens to people if they don't read your book, if they don't learn this system, if they don't learn from what you learn, what you're trying to teach them, if they don't do it, what happens?
Well, many of the clients that I work with have tried over and over again how to lose weight and kind of get a handle on things themselves. They may lose a few pounds, and then they think that they've beat the system, they've overcome the cravings, and then all of a sudden something happens and the cravings come rushing back. They start eating the way they were before, and not only do they gain back the weight that they lost, but very often they'll gain back more. And this is a cycle that just continues to perpetuate in their lives. And or people just don't do anything. And if you don't do anything, if you do what I just said, or you don't do anything, it's very likely that down the road you're going to develop diabetes because your body's going to be resilient until it can't. You will have you will your pancreas will work and do what it's supposed to do. It will send the insulin out and take the blood sugar into your cells and all of these things until it becomes exhausted. And
Mm,
once it becomes exhausted, you become insulin resistant. The sugar builds up in your blood and you become diabetic. And
wow.
and this is what, and it's so preventable
Hmm.
that, but people are inundated with mixed messaging about the food that they're eating and being told things that are not true. The marketing for some of these foods is really deceiving and very, very deceptive. It's awful. It's awful. But if you don't know what you don't know, you're going to continue with the same cycle and you're going to end up sick. And the older we get, the much more likely it is that we are going to develop diabetes because
Absolutely. Like if you live long enough,
yeah,
you will get this kind of cancer or this kind of diabetes. Like our bodies just kind of break down. And unlike a car, we can't always replace all the parts.
Right.
So we said before we started this, if you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live? Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you know what I'm finding in the business world, which I think is so crazy, is I was watching this major CEO of a $100 million company, and he was talking about how he had these emotional blocks in his life, and he did this ayahuasca thing. And I'm just like, the thought of being here, I am trying to be this responsible business owner, running a big company, corporation. I don't want to have to go do crazy drugs in the desert somewhere to
Yeah.
find myself and to find my blocks. And it's like I think that there's a lot more to this whole thing about giving up sugar
Yeah.
and not having to take the medication, like trade in medication for meditation. And let's see how that helps you grow your business better. But I will tell you, I am firsthand a poster child of giving up sugar, blew up my business. It funded our TV show in 90 days. We got our
That's
national
amazing.
television show done because
Yeah.
I gave up sugar. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Um,
That's amazing.
so if you want to blow up your business in a good way, if you want to improve your health, if you want to improve everything about your quality of life, then I recommend you get this book and you share it with people. The greatest gift you can give other people is the gift of hope. And right now, we need more hope dealers. Amen. We got enough dope dealers out there. This isn't about pushing medication. This is about prevention, which if you can educate people and empower them, that's how you change lives, my friends. So go out, don't walk, run. Get this book today. Special launch price of only 99 cents for the ebook. The print book is under 10 bucks, I think. So this
It
is
is.
an incredible opportunity to go and give the gift of health and education to other people, help them become aware, right? This is how you learn. You when you know better, you do better, Maya Angelou said. So Karen, one last thing. What do you think holds people back? I mean, we know the science is there. We
Hmm.
all know we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
What is it that really holds people back?
Fear.
Mm,
More and more people come to me and tell me that they're afraid to give it up. They're afraid of what it will feel like. It is truly an addiction.
yeah, it really
It,
is an addiction. That
it's
sounds
like
like a
an
drug
alcoholic.
addict.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like an alcoholic. It's a drug addict. Whatever. It is. They're afraid. That's a crutch for them.
Mm,
Their
yeah,
crutch. It's their security blanket. It's their partner in life. Sometimes so when they give that up, what do they have left? And if they could just allow themselves to get on the other side of that addiction,
I love
or
it. So
that
great.
it's a whole other life. It's just like this curtain is lifted, and
Oh,
they
it
feel
and it
it.
and you don't feel like the sugar monster isn't taking over your life, your brain, your decisions. It's like overthinking things. I had somebody that told me the other day, a client who's doing very well, by the way, successfully, and she said, if I eat sugar, like refined sugar, she goes, 2 or 3 days later, I get in the deepest depression. I get emotional, I get weepy. It took me a while to figure out what it was, but these are the symptoms that happen as like a sugar, like even a few days later. She can directly relate it to that. So she doesn't do it. I mean, when we do events, it's like everybody has, okay, no gluten, no dairy, no sugar. I'm like, got you. Like, this is how we live. Like, this is the choice to do better now. If you could just change a few daily habits to live a better life, higher quality life at a better level and live longer and healthier without all these medications, and you could do it and change it today, why wouldn't you do it? It'd be crazy not to.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
go get this book. Now, Karen, what do you want our audience to do um, from here? Like where did they go to find your book, to follow you? I know you have a free gift you wanted to talk about for people today. Tell us about that.
So they can go to my website. It's yourpoweryourhealth.com, and they can purchase the book there. They can find it on Amazon. Crush Cravings Before Diabetes Crushes You is on Amazon. I just saw it this morning, as a matter of fact. And the free gift that I'd like to offer is a consultation with me. So if you want to see how, see how how working with me would affect you or would help you, let's talk. It's really no strings attached, very low key. We talk about your situation. We talk about what your most important, uh, what keeps you up at night about around your health, and we talk about. I give you some action steps. If you choose to work with me, great. If not, you'll have some action steps to take you on to start you on your path to better health. So it's really it's a no lose situation, and it's free. So
Well, there
because
you have it, you guys. You got the book on a special price right now. If you're watching this playback later, just a warning, it may not be the same price, but you can reach out to Karen, get the book, and please leave an honest review. This is really helpful to our authors, getting your book babies out there, sharing it with the world. Just like if you found a great restaurant, you want to share it with everybody. So go back and leave an honest review. And then if you have any questions about this, you're curious how this works, what is that process? You've been thinking about doing this. I encourage you to reach out to Karen, who is the expert on this space, and get these sugar cravings under control once and for all. And you never know how this message, this information today, what you're watching, could save your life or someone you love. So thank you for taking action, for being here. Karen, is there anything else you want to share with our viewers today before we wrap it up?
what I just would really encourage you to do, if you have a sugar addiction, and you can't seem to get your hands around it yourself, seek help. If it's not with me, find another coach, because it really is important that you eliminate this from your life. The food system that we have now is very dangerous, and that aspect of it is the most dangerous part of it. So
And here's the beauty. We have the knowledge. We have the tools. And it's the best time in history. We have the foods, we have the companies that are being smart because consumers are voting with their dollar. You don't have to struggle. It's just as intimidating as it is for people to go to the grocery store. There were times where I would literally sit in my car and cry because I got so overwhelmed walking into a grocery store and feeling like everything in here is going to kill me. And it became like, I don't even know what to eat. I don't want to eat anything anymore because everything's going to kill me. So the point is, this will give you tools to realize that everything you eat is just a list of ingredients. And it's no different than going to the store and buying different foods to combine and consume. That this is food is medicine. This is your fuel, just like your Ferrari doesn't, doesn't take care what the gas tastes like. When you put it in it, it's going to perform better when you get better gas for that high performance vehicle. So if you are trying to do a lot in your life, balance a lot, and all you're feeding yourself every day is stress, and you're not eating right, you're not taking care of yourself, and you're wondering why in the world am I getting sick and everything's coming down? Think of this. If you're running a business right now, most of us spend the first half of our lives, right, sacrificing our health to make wealth. Then the last half of our lives, we sacrifice our wealth to get our health back. It's a vicious cycle, and it doesn't have to be that way. You've got
that's
somebody here that has a solution for you. So I encourage you, reach out to Karen, take advantage of this knowledge, her expertise. You don't have to get cancer like Karen did to learn this lesson because we love you so much. We want you to have this information. We're giving you Karen from our people library so that you learn how to protect yourself and the people that you love. So just take the action. When you know better, you do better. And thank you so much for being here today, Karen. Thank you. Congratulations on your book. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for getting the courage to do this. And by the way, any of you that want to write a book, maybe you're thinking, hey, I could do what Karen did. I don't know where to start. I know I have something to share. I overcame something in my own life, and there are people who really need this, and it could be life or death, just like this for people. We want to help you get that little book baby out of you and get it into the hands of the people that we know really need it. So you can go to our website as well, mydefiningmoments.com. We've got resources. You can book a call with our team, and we're going to help you figure out where you are, what you want to do, and how we can help you get started and really compress time and learn how to do it faster than trying to figure it out on your own. And we'll be here to support you and cheer you on as you launch, just like we are here with Karen today. So go get the book. Let us know what you think. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share this with a friend who needs this knowledge and information. And we'll see you next time on Defining Moments. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Karen. All right, everyone.
Melanie.
Take care.